What they hoped would be the start of solutions to bring down Georgia's mother mortality rate was a disappointment. After the first meeting of the House Study Committee on the issue, a state representative and some women of the General Assembly said the meeting really missed the point. Georgia has one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the country. But State Representative Mabel Thomas says the committee focused too much on the data surrounding the issue, not enough time on solutions that can really save lives. She says the group will continue to monitor the committee meetings, but now will look for some other ways to influence legislation.